This video is not financial advice. I am not a financial planner. I am an entertainer. The one and only Apefather in the house. I'm back in my house on the recliner. Wow! Just digest. I'm like digesting a big meal. My dogs, they're eating now. They're very happy, eating like kings and queens. I just wanted to make an inspirational video because I think we all need a little inspiration right now. I know I do. So I might as well share it with you. Most people who are very, very successful, it's not like, see, you know what the thing is? The public doesn't realize what these individuals went through before they became super successful. Because we see people who are successful, and I think that we just get this like natural, thing in our head, just like, oh, they're whatever. They have something I don't have, meaning it could be a talent or it could be an ability, the Midas touch, or maybe they had some sort of inheritance that was a huge inheritance, like the Johnson and Johnson family. They just keep passing it down generation to generation to generation. And we just look at these, very, very successful families and just think that they're set. I don't know, what else to say. They're made in the shade and they're set. But you don't realize sometimes the horror that some of these people went through. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago about Elon Musk. Everybody looks at him now like he's like the smartest man, the most brilliant man, the most successful man in the world. But there was a time where people actually said that they thought he was nuts. Who puts money, think about this, in a company that competes against NASA? Like when he first started SpaceX, they thought this guy was out of his mind. Seriously, they thought he was crazy, Elon Musk. And now you look at him today, and of course, you just say, my God, what an amazing guy, right? He's like a magician. He's like a wizard. Everything he touches turns to gold. But, same thing with Tesla. There was a time where the thought of electronic cars were, crazy. They're like, what happens when you got, it's like, how you run out of gas, or what happens when you run out of your charging, he goes to zero. And, he had to basically make this something accessible all around, the world, like where you have these charging stations. And just the thought of that was insane. So, and I'm not trying to get political. I know everybody gets upset. But Donald J. Trump, you look at him. Now, in his case, his father, Fred Trump, had a very big part. People don't know this, but his father was already a very, very, very successful businessman in terms of real estate, but he was successful in Queens and Brooklyn. And Donald wanted to take the Trump organization to Manhattan. Now, his father was against it. His father was like, no, it's too much money out there, in Brooklyn and Queens is what we do. But Donald thought big. And, it so happens he was also at the right time at the right place. In the 1970s, New York City was pretty much bankrupt. I don't know if you know this. Like people were like considering New York to be like the worst place to live. It was like, you don't remember Times Square back in those days. I mean, I wasn't even born. I was born in 1977, but the stories I was told, from my parents, Times Square was like the most, disgusting. You had, the worst element, you know what I mean? It was like, who really cleaned that up was Giuliani. You have to give the Mayor Giuliani credit for that. He cleaned up Times Square. Times Square was a nightmare in the 70s. So the point is, Donald Trump saw the Commodore Hotel. You should look this up. And the Commodore Hotel, it was all prostitutes in this hotel, drug dealers. And, he walked in and he said, this place has got good boats. But you see, at the time, they were bankrupt. This was all owned by the Penn Central, the rail yards. So he got an option on this property, and he had to go through the mill and back. Even though his father supported him, and he ultimately, signed with him along with it was the Hyatt chain. But see, Donald had to do so many things. I was always impressed with him, to make this deal become a reality. Because this thing was like, his father thought he was nuts. He's like, you realize that you're investing in a prostitution and a drug-infested hotel. He's like, you understand that, right? The father, Fred Trump, thought he was nuts, right? But, he got a partner. He talked to the, the Pritzker family. I think yes. And there was the Hyatt chain, and he brought them in as a partner. He said, "Look, let me use the Hyatt name. You understand? And I will provide the remaining of the financing." And what he had to do to get the financing was he had to get the city of New York to give him such a huge tax abatement. The banks didn't want to lend him any money. He had to get something like a 40-year, like meaning no taxes that he was paying, like tax abatement for 40 years. And he did it because the reason why, it was like there was nothing going on in New York. New York was down the tubes. It was going bankrupt. So they wanted to, give life back to the city. And he turned the prostitution ring, a drug addict hotel, into the Grand Hyatt. It became the most successful hotel in New York City. It was unbelievable. So the point I'm saying is that's where we are right now with AMC. A lot of people look at us, right, like we're dumb money, like, we're all investing in a failing business, that's outdated and, it is like, if you think about it, I mean, everything nowadays is streaming. Everything is, we can sit at the comfort of our own homes and watch movies. But I always believed it. My wife believes it. We love going to the movie. We're going this weekend to see Batman. You can't ever change the experience of being in a movie theater. I don't care. I don't care. Even if there are people who are multimillionaires, they have their own home theaters. I mean, I have like a 70-inch television, if you see that. But it doesn't matter because it's not the same experience as being in a movie theater. It's just exciting, the sound, the power, the impact. It's just I just can't explain it. You'll never take that experience away. And for those reasons, and another thing is you have to consider Hollywood. You have to consider all these actors and actresses that are making tremendous amounts of money. Hollywood is not going nowhere. You understand? In my opinion, the movies will always be in business. That's it. You'll never, if they could survive AMC, the coronavirus, okay, now they got money in the bank. They got a war chest. They could survive. You know what I mean? We're not going bankrupt. This is all just stuff that's happening right now that you're seeing to discourage you. That's it. These hedge funds want to make you believe that AMC is going bankrupt. It's not going bankrupt. They want to make you believe that the movie theaters are like, this is old fashioned. It's finished. It's a dead business. Hollywood will always live on forever and will always be a powerhouse. And AMC movie theaters, like he said, 60 million people. This is Adam, Aaron. He said that 60 million people went to the AMC movie theaters. And this is despite Omicron. So it just goes to show you that we're fine. We're not going out of business. He is doing things like, look, he's restructuring the debt. He's keeping the business going. He's trying to enter into new, businesses, the popcorn business. Look, do whatever you got to do. But I just think that he has to look out for the retail investor too. He has to look out for us because we saved his butt. And that's the only thing is, he's just got to do the right thing. I don't understand why everything is a big secret. That's the only thing. You know what bothers me about Adam, Aaron, whatever his name is. I like just to call him the A-Man. Do you mind if I just call him the A-Man? Adam the A-Man. Is that you made your money, we helped you. We came through for you when you needed us. You made $24 million. Come through for us. We just want to know where we stand. That's all. Do a share recount and tell us the truth. Don't tell us that we own 90%. That's not the truth. I don't believe it. Do you?